Hey guys, hope you're doing well. I'm out here at one of my commercial properties. Got the loader here, and I'm gonna grease it up. I have not greased it this season yet. It's been too long, and so I figured now is the time, and so I bring you guys along with. This is the T770 with the cage. And just running through the essentials in greasing up your equipment. I just got, well, not just got this thing, but it is a lifesaver. If you don't have an electric grease gun, man, that's a good thing to have. And obviously paper towels, because you cannot grease. I'm sure you guys have been here or been there. You cannot grease anything without getting grease everywhere, it seems like. So paper towels, obviously, and more grease, because as soon as you start greasing, inevitably you're gonna run right out of grease, and so you definitely need a couple extra tubes too. So that's what we got here. So let's just run around and grease this up. I'll set you guys right there, and I'm gonna get to greasing. Another thing I like to do is grease when it's warm out. It's probably about 31 degrees right now. So a lot warmer than some of the days we've been having. And so I like to grease all my equipment when it's warm. That way the grease flows in better. I think it'll just, and it's obviously a lot better on your hands too. So that's how I do it. Just a little side note, if for some reason you guys haven't done a lot of greasing, you'll want to grease each zerk until you either hear popping and then go a little beyond that, or until you start seeing grease come out of the pin or the hole or whatever's there. That's kind of where the point where you want to stop, because there's no reason to keep greasing when the grease starts coming out. You can just kind of leave it at that point. That's what I do. And depending on the machine, you know, a lot of machines, they put the zerks in the most visible place possible, but there are still some crazy zerks that are just either hidden or remote zerks that are just hard to get to. And so you just got to really look over where are the pins, where am I supposed to be greasing, and then just hit those grease points. So on this Bobcat, obviously there's a grease point there because that's the pin, that's the bottom pin for this cylinder. There is another grease point, or another Zerk right in here, a little hard to see. Another one, this one's really easy to get to. Oh, this one. Pretty much anytime you see a pin or anywhere where there's a bushing or, you know, just a moving point, there'll probably be a grease point there. And so this one, you can see it's right down there. It's pretty straightforward, pretty common sense if you just look around. Like on this bar here, there's a point there, a Zerk there. Looks like I lost a knob there. That's not, oh, that one's loose too, man. Bobcat was pretty smart doing that. They make those fall off easy, so then you gotta buy more. Oh well. Anyway, on the front of the machine here, of course, we got a grease point there, Zerk there. Down here, we got a couple, and then these pins, you actually have to take, so for these pins, for the quick attach, it's down through here, so you actually got to remove the cage. So we're not going to get those right now. Those aren't as big of a deal because we leave our cage on the entire season, obviously. And then the cage itself, you know, there's a couple points on here too that we're going to want to hit because we don't want that seizing up. So going to run around and hit those too. Well, this is a mess. When I was doing the Zerk on the cage, the grease was starting to come out this point here. So I don't know, I think that's like a pressure relief. So I think it was building up too much pressure. I don't think the grease wanted to go in. Oh well. So let's hit this other side and then we'll call it good. Like I was talking about earlier, let's try to see if we can see when the grease starts coming out. And then we will call her quits when the grease does start coming out. So we'll watch for grease around this point, maybe on the inside. Okay, yeah, so the grease is coming out the bottom there, so that's good for that one. And that's typically how it is for every Zerk. There's always a point that the grease will start coming out, so then whenever you see that, you just stop. And perfect timing, we just ran out of grease on our last Zerk, so let's fill it up and get that last one taken care of. Kind of funny story. Growing up, my dad would always tell me not to put my finger in here because there's that sharp metal edge in there and get the extra grease out. And so one day I was doing that, and then I cut myself. You know, it's just like a paper cut, except it's pretty much like with a knife. And so I was like, oh, well, that's why he said that. So anyway, it is very sharp in there. So I will also let you guys know never to do this. Never do what I am doing right now, because it's very sharp. It'll cut you like a tin can, because it pretty much is a tin can. So anyway, that is that. Got the new tube in here, then we just push the plunger in there. And sometimes, every once in a while, these are already bled. Okay, just like that one. So that worked out perfectly. Otherwise, if it's not bled, what we do is we have to, you know, spin this little knob, and then we pull the trigger. We open this up, open this valve up, pull the trigger, and then the grease, you know, it starts coming out of here, and then we close this back up, and then we get all the air out of there. So then it will actually work properly. So I'm gonna go do that last zerk over here. And actually there was one more that I forgot about right down here. Anyway, okay, that is that then. I think I got all of them now. So it always seems like there's a couple zerks that you just miss. For some reason, you always overlook them for whatever reason. Kind of funny. But anyway, that is how you grease up a 770. Or any loader for that matter. They're all the same, pretty much. Other than having zerks in a couple different places, they're all very similar. So that's gross. Anyway, now my hands are super greasy, so I'm gonna go wipe them off. Thank you for watching. Thank you for following along. See you in the next video.